That was the point at which we went, right, have we just spent 5 years for nothing? One of the exciting things when we decided we were going to do Stronghold Kingdoms was the fact that, unlike Stronghold, which is about building one castle, having one siege or one defence, it allows you to do that, but it also allows us to recreate the reality of medieval warfare, which was the long game, wars rather than battles, multiple sieges. The fact that you can actually recreate a siege which can take up to a month, really. I mean, usually a big castle can be brought down in a day, but quite often it's more of a war of attrition, which actually recreates the kind of the medieval combat, that side of medieval combat, better than just a single player game. We had initial prototypes which were a statement of intent, so we had like the kind of like Stronghold versions which were really just client. And then we were like, well, how do we get these things to connect? And then, oh my goodness, all sorts of technical problems would present themselves for the next few years, and we'd have to rework stuff. We'd be going off to learning about databases, learning about web server technology, lots of things to learn.
We changed the core tech a few times, didn't we, on the way to the final solution?
Yeah, no, I mean, no one else was doing this sort of game then. I mean, really, not many people are doing exactly what Kingdoms does even now, because it's such a steep learning curve, I think, and you know, we had to be. Luckily, we're crazy enough to carry on, ignoring the fact that we spent like 2 or 3 years on it and we still weren't close to getting anything out. 2011, November we came out, and that was the point at which
November 2010.
2010, sorry. And then that was the point at which we went, right, have we just spent 5 years for nothing, or will people actually pay us any money for this? And
it felt like that. it did. On that day, it felt a bit who knows?
Who knows, really? Because no one else was doing it, and we just didn't know whether it would work. But luckily, people paid us money. I mean, which was brilliant. Which was just amazing to see that actually, what we'd done was important enough for people to actually want to give us some money towards it.
And up to that launch, we'd literally only had people that knew Stronghold playing it. There was no one else. There's no non-Stronghold fans that played it. So we kind of had always assumed that it would all be Stronghold fans. But when we actually launched it, it wasn't really like that, was it? There was a lot more non-Stronghold fans playing it than we realised, and which was obviously is the goal, really. But it took us by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, we aimed it at Stronghold fans, but it's been brilliant to see that it actually appeals to a wider group. I mean, Stronghold is different. A single player Stronghold is different to a Kingdoms play style, but I think Stronghold Kingdoms appeals to a wider audience and to in some ways a slightly more hardcore audience, because you've got to be happy with the kind of the ruthlessness of being a medieval lord. I think for us the interesting thing is to see if we can bring a more kind of in-depth strategy game onto the mobile marketplace, because everything I play, I mean, I play some mobile games, but after a while I kind of get a little bit bored of them, because they're all quite samey and quite lightweight. And I think hopefully with Stronghold Kingdoms, when we finally get it out, we can kind of put something new into the mobile marketplace.
There's got to be people looking for something slightly different from the identikit, kind of Clash of Clans type games, and I think Stronghold Kingdoms will give players a choice, to play a strategy game that's a little bit different.
The fact that you're not tied to your work desk or your home desk to defend that killing, which means you can go out and you can sit there and have dinner with your friends and ignore them because you're sitting there repairing your castle.
Well, I remember in the beta when I knew that we had something a bit, something good, was when I remember leaving work, play Kingdoms. I remember thinking for the whole hour it took me to commute, I was thinking about Kingdoms, and as soon as I got home, I ignored my wife. I went upstairs, I turned on the computer, and I, as you say, I, checked the attack or whatever that I'd sent off, and obviously with the mobile version that would have been slightly easier. I could have checked on the train, but I do remember back thinking how handy it would have been back then. So
yeah, absolutely.
That was right back at the start.
I mean, really, to my mind, finally, it's a version of Kingdoms you can play in the toilet, right?
That's a lovely image. Yeah.
I think we'll end on that one.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and tune in next Thursday for more videos from Firefly Studios on YouTube.
Stronghold Kingdoms.